All right, so we are back. We've done a slight amount of grinding, but I decided not really to because there's going to be better opportunities even without trial mode. That being said, at this point, if you find you have some key nodes to get on your second board, trial mode is the best option because you get about at least 100. Let's see if I remember correctly, up to floor. Well, yeah, part stage 10 was at least 150, 200. And at this point, you should be able to reliably get to stage 10. It's stage 20 and 30 that you're going to have issues with, even at this point in the game. Anyway, now we have an upcoming story segment. And we're back on the Dreadnought Leviathan. And nobody shocked, Vossler has betrayed everybody. So it should be a pretty easy fight if you're powered up like this.
The Dreadnought Leviathan is...
And at this point, you reach a major story milestone, and by now, shots will update again. They haven't already. Now here is where you're going to start seeing the Giza planets actually shift as part of the story. Now remember earlier in a previous session that I told you that the Giza planets shifts. Well, from the start you're forced into a dry season. Now that you're going to be now that the stories have progressed enough, you'll start seeing random patterns. I forget it's based on a time system. It shifts patterns every few hours game time. First, let's get out of here. You can use the Muggling to get out. Now, there is an NPC around here. If you talk to him, he'll tell you what's going on. See? This is one who gives you a hint about it. And there is one here that he's I'm trying to remember what these are called. But, basically he's going to look like one of these guys, and if you come back later, he should be the one that tells you whether or not, he calls himself Weather Eye, if I remember right. A Seek, that's what it was, Seek. So you'll be looking for a Seek. And he'll tell you, whether it's a dry season, whether it's a soon-to-be wet season, or if it's wet season ending. Very useful if you're looking to conduct certain hunts or find certain enemies of the Bestiary. Now that it is wet season, you'll see things have changed around a bit. Your map is not quite reliable, as there will be extra areas that are covered now. We're going to get through here real quick. Notice we have new enemies popping out. These are all more aquatic-based ones. During the dry, they do not show up normally. And there are only hunts that are only available during the dry season or a wet season. Notice the sunstones are buried. Let's see. Now some of these you can smash and create new paths. Now remember correctly, you have to do so for some hunts. Also, note during the dry is the only time you can see the nomad village here. During the wet season, they are gone. Now, in the southeast part of the map is where you start seeing new areas. Ah. And there is a section where you need to... Oh, hold on, I'm sorry. I didn't realize the sound was messed up. You know, it keeps resetting, unfortunately. I have yet to find a long-term solution for that. That being said, let's go back to what we're doing. Alright, so... You have to get over to the southeast part of the map, and we are going the wrong way for that. And there's going to be a section where you need to smack around driftwood and all that in order to create a bridge. That's actually required for a hunt. We may not be able to do that now because we do not have that hunt active. I'm not sure. It's been so long since I had to do that. Oh, and there's a lightning elemental running around. Oh, this is sort of... Okay, this is weak enough that we can actually fight it. So if you have a bunch of diamond armlets, this is a good time to use it because it'll make you immune to him. Let's see. We do not have Kura unlocked for her yet, so we should go ahead and do that now if we can. Now, something to note about the Cure versus Cure. Cure is single target. Cura is multi-target. Basically, any there's always going to be multi-target as well as single target spells. Typically speaking, when you get access to a new tier, the one without the Ra or ending in an A, that will be a single target. Cura will always this is a multi-target, and Karaga will be single target. Karaja will be multi-target. So something to keep in mind if you're trying to set up a gambit and you want to heal everybody, so you want to use the multi-targets. Now the thing about it is, no matter the distance, if you pop a multi-target healing spell, it will hit every ally. That means if your allies are too far away, they may die before it hits them. Now Raise does what it does. I think it raises them around 50% hit points. Whereas Arise will revive them at full hit points. And most of these are buff and debuff cleanse spells, so adjust your gambits accordingly. Ah, she's silenced. So she's silenced, she cannot cast. You may want to fix that. So having a good, white mage gambit setup can be very useful if you're far away from a. There we go. So, in order to access this area, ahead of us, we need to find more driftwood, and they're up in here somewhere. You have to go to every zone pretty much, and find driftwoods hanging around this right side of the river. I guess you could call it a lake now because But don't go too far, otherwise you end up back in the Ester Sand. So basically, run around, kill everything, and you're gonna end up fighting a lot just to find the right way. And notice you can finally fight tortoises, aside from the Urtan Eater. Let's see. So again, look for like this right here. Bam, wither tree. I think remember there's only 3 at most. You know, float down this the water normally. There we go. You can get some nice little treasures. Remember correctly, the stuff you can get here is not particularly good because you can buy better upgrades. You may want to consider, farming them for turtle shells as well as their bestiary entry. Because this is the one time in the game that it's guaranteed to be in the rains. Otherwise, so if you want to do stuff that's related to Giza Plains and the rains, come and do it now. Now let's find that other tree. Oh, we went too far. So yeah, this is what I was saying. In the story, as long as you do not progress the story past, going to the Garif village, the Giza Plains will stay in a rain state. So once you progress it, then it's going to be where it's now up kind of semi RNG. Right? I shouldn't say semi RNG. What I mean is, as I said at the start, it's going to be, sorry, hang on. Okay, cool. Anyway, so it's going to be where you need to come back at the right time. Make sure to explore around, kill everything if you have to. You're looking for wither trees. And you need at least 2 more. So make sure to clear each zone. Unfortunately, due to the nature of the zone refresh, you can end up, having to re-clear areas. Ah, here's another one. See? Yeah, you don't need 1 more. Be sure to pay attention to your map constantly. You can get some really nice, useful items, just by searching around. Period. And notice it's forming a bridge for us, so we should only need 1 more. And since we got status effect, might as well do this since we're here. And, sometimes you can see the tree from a distance. We're back to where we were earlier, right? So, no, don't do that. It can be confusing if you don't know exactly where they're at, because, again, I don't remember where they are, but we will show you where they're at. Alright, so, I don't think we checked that area yet. Yeah, the peninsula. There, get him off the screen. Yeah. Let me go find this last one, because I'm going to have to look it up, sorry. Okay, so here I found a guide, and yes, actually, it's actually 6 total that you can smack around. I thought you only need 3. And there's one, we missed one in our waypoint area, there's also one in the Nomad Village. Oh yeah, so I'm way off on where they were at. So we just need to go back into the Nomad area, and then back to the area where we met the kid for the Sunstone. Fortunately, we're very close to the first one. Honestly, at this point, I would just say run. Now run so you can get over here. And you can see right here, tree. Now we go to the other area. And we should be good to go. I know we saw, what, 3 or 4? Well, we'll know soon enough, because I can just check again. And look at that, we found another one we were missing. I don't know how we missed that. I guess I probably got confused for the background. Alright, so just run. And you know, having speed up makes it so much easier. Oh, we were going the wrong way anyway. But yeah, speed up will make it so much easier, because you do have a lot of running back and forth to do in 12, unfortunately. We should now be able to progress to this area. If not, then we need to check again. Aha, so we are missing one. Let's take a look. I think we missed the one below the Nomad Village. Or above it. We'll take a look. So there are 6 pieces again. And you can tell we're almost there. Okay, so we got that one. Let me look again. Alright. Got one above it and one inside it. Did we get the one inside? Sure we did. Either way, you know, if in doubt, check which ones you missed. Alright, we got the one in the village. Okay, so this can be a little bit time taxing, but you know, that's just if you don't remember. But if you're like me, you don't remember what exact spots are, because normally I just don't do that quest. It's actually part of a, you know, it's okay. Oh, there it is. The location is part of a quest, but you can go there ahead of time. And once you've gotten them all, you can hear the jingle. So now that we've gotten them all, we can go back and explore that area. Yeah, you know, it's part of a hunt as well as a side quest. And you can just go there as well, just for killing stuff there. And we went the wrong way. So we'll go back. That's the way on Ozmone Plains. But we want to show the area I was talking about. That's on me. That was a derp thing. Oh. Yeah, sorry. Looking at the mini-map, it's getting confused again. It's alright. Oh, notice on the minimap, it will show us a new area. And, you know, since it's not part of the normal Giza Plains map, you cannot buy, you know, a map that will give you access to it. You know, the location map will not add to it. Notice the level. Yeah, these are where big boy turtles are. So you might want to be careful if you decide to come in here early. These are level 37 enemies. And, you know, it's us tracks of the beast. Yeah, this is where the big boys are. So if you have a Karkata user, you want to use it, bring them out here, because they are going to be a big damage. They give up pretty decent XP and, you know, LP. Aha. And you come here, you get some interesting items. And this is required for a side quest later. So, if you want to come here, you know, early, it's a good idea. Just be careful of the turtles. And consider running the minute you get that. This is an area you can only access during the rains. And I believe we've gotten everything we can here for now. If I remember correctly, there weren't really any useful items other than feather the flock which you need for side quests. You know, that can be completed much later on. So anyway, let's get out of here. If you have a geared up party like this, like the trial mode enabled. Ooh. Okay. So here is a way to tell if you have a rare game spawned. It's if they spawn with a status effect and they cannot be seen. If you can't see it on Libra or via Bango, that's a rare game. You just gave out some decent LP and low XP, but it's okay. We were not here for the XP. We just got lucky with him spawning like that. And a lot of rare game require certain weather conditions like that, or specific other conditions to spawn. Like the Stia, for example, that is a rare game monster that you use early on to level up. and you need to be within 10% of your current hit points. Now, early on, it can be very hard, as I showed you, the technique was to knock us down to single digit instead of hit point critical. Whereas some later in game will show up like at hit point critical, or if you have an ally KO. So anyway, just a moment, please. I need some water. Alright, sorry about that. It's important to stay hydrated. That being said, we are now in the Ozmone Plain. Now, the Ozmone Plain is interesting. You know, for one, it connects to certain areas, including one area has extremely strong in-game enemies in the locked off half of it. We'll get into that real soon. The other is, it leads to the Garif village, and if I remember correctly, it also leads to the Phone Coast, which leads to Arcadia. And we'll be going there relatively soon, too. Now, you're going to be seeing flying enemies here a lot more often, as well as some enemies that are associated with the Giza plains. You know, like we just killed, the Sleipnir knockoff. Also, take note of the name. These are enemies that originally appeared in Final Fantasy VIII. So this area could be a hassle if you do not have telekinesis, which is extremely likely, or you don't have enough ranged units or mages. So this is why you want to consider when building your party, even with the remap, you want to consider at least having at least 1 or 2 ranged, as well as a caster. Otherwise, those guys are going to be incredibly irritating. Make sure to pay attention to the map. Now, the Garif village is a little bit deep into the Ozmone Plain. And notice the curve. Curve. That way is to the. If I remember correctly, that is to the Zertinan Caverns, which is where Etramalek, resides, and you cannot go there until you've gotten a certain story point. Otherwise, you just get forcibly ejected. Right? You can go inside the caverns, but you can't go to his area within them because you need a certain story step to be complete before you can unlock go and get the optional espers. The caverns are really scary early on, even if you're decently leveled up like this party. Notice they're all level 30. These are level 37 spawns. And the only reason why we just won this is because of gambits and having strong gear. So this isn't where you want to go early on. There is a hunt that takes place here, but if I remember correctly, it's actually in a relatively safe zone, and it doesn't expose you to the higher level of spawns. Now, you can do it if you manage to get trial mode farming up and exploiting it, and have your boards maxed out or something early on, which is that is entirely possible. But I would not suggest doing it. Doing this early because you want to have some other stuff like more gambits as well as stronger spells, and at least come in here at least level 35. Yep. What did we pick up? A slasher? Oh, that's an axe. Okay. So it says on hit sap, but if I remember correctly, it does still have to be the mechanic of being able to drain based on damage. Now, sap is honestly kind of interesting depending on what you're going against. I can't remember any monster, any monster or boss in this game that is actually very vulnerable to it. But you better believe there's some late game ones that will just mess you up if you don't guard against sap. Again, it's like the curse mechanic in Dark Souls 1 is incredibly obnoxious because it's usually paired with poison. Anyway, so we're gonna just leave that area. Because again, we don't need to be there right now. We probably will not go there as part of the overall, let's learn. Because ultimately, the caverns are entirely optional. The biggest reason you want to go there is after you unlock the ability, after you progress the story enough to be able to go and acquire the optional experts to get Adramelech. Like, let's be honest, the caverns do not have anything going for them except, marks and acquiring Adramelech. Now, you can start seeing wild chocobos out here in the wild. If you see a red one, do not pick a fight with one. Do not pick a fight with the red chocobos. If you need to be told why, ask a Final Fantasy Tactics player why. Or anybody who did Boja. They'll tell you why. Now here we are. Now at this point you can get a pretty decent gear upgrade. Make sure to buy maps. Notice Gertie's everywhere. And anyway, standard procedure when you see an orange crystal, attune. I talked about it before, but make sure to attune because you will be coming back to some of these locations, even if it doesn't seem like it now. Quite a few of these are required to come back to for late game side quests. If I remember correctly, you had to come back to here to do certain stuff in the Henne Mines. So it's actually kind of unclear. We saw a Garif just now. However, I don't know if it was ever established whether or not the random Garif you find out in the fields is the same one as this one, or he was just watching you from a location you couldn't see him. And here we have decent upgrades again. We picked up an iron pole back in the Giza Plains, as well as the slasher we just got. Once again, think economically with your gear. You only need to buy as many as people that can actually equip it. And remember, each board has different access to different gear. Only machines can access guns, with exceptions being other boards that have license bridges that we talked about. We talked about before where you can use licenses like espers or quickenings to do proxy and unlock new areas you couldn't normally. So certain boards can access guns this way, but machinist is the only one that has it natively. So whoever you make your machinist should be the only one you ever buy new guns for. Here we need to only look at what gear we have actually available. So we have 3 people that can equip light armor, meaning 3 berets. We're getting low on money, so we're going to need to sell our stuff soon. And notice we have Stona, and Bleed, and Viera. Always make sure to get your elemental magics upgraded as soon as possible. We could buy a traveler. Oh, and let's see what. Now this is interesting if you can keep your mage healed up. That's incredibly strong and makes him potent. Remember, break damage limit in this game is actually built in by default. So when you get to the point where you'll be doing, quad 9 damage, it will automatically go over. This is actually key for late game strategy and optimization. And here we have the physical damage, version. So let's see. Anyway, let's sell off most right gear. And most likely we're going to trigger a bizarre item or two. Actually, when you get loot and you get soul greens, keep them. You can find chocobos out in the wild that will allow you to ride them if you give them one. And we got the items. Cool. Now, full set of golden gear. And here, if you didn't already know about monographs, the game will give you hints if you go to the merchant. And the sad thing is you can never tell him about it. However, you can actually have them waiting to be bought from the bazaar and buy them from him, and he will not react to it at all, as far as I know. I've never been able to try that, because usually if I get monographs, it's long earlier than that. Than this point. So if you have any knights, give them the golden gear. And most likely off screen, we're going to probably sell off our excess gear. Because honestly, you don't need most gear, or you don't need to hoard gear most of the time. There will be certain stuff later on that you want to consider. Anyway, in order to talk to the elder, you need to go over here. And you talk to them, trigger cutscene. Now here will be big cutscenes and big plot exposition. How convenient, he just quickly believes us. Isn't that nice? Two humans just roll up and have to start, talking to his boss. And here we are rejoined with Larsa by the end of the cutscenes. Now this is an opportunity again to go into trial mode and farm LP or try to get rare items from some of the spawns. It is recommended that you do it because this is a good point, and also will be better leveled up as well. Just make sure to adjust his gambits. And this is, you can actually hold on to this to the end of the game if you do not use chocobos. For the most part, you do not need to use chocobos. However, chocobos are required in order to do the side quest that unlocks a fight against Exodus. So that is something to consider. But as far as I know, you will not get. You can hold on to that free use for the rest of the game. But you do need to use chocobos in order to access the Exodus fight. So you can see our destination. And this is why you need to use the chocobo to get to this point. However, there's usually one hanging around there out in the wild. Not to mention there is a event coming up that we can use to get a free chocobo use from. So we got ourselves a big boy here. Notice how much XP that we couldn't see him with Libra. He is a rare game. Oh, we're in the wrong tab. Sorry. So he's very rare, and I do not know how we managed to get him to spawn. We got very lucky here. Rarity indicates special spawn conditions most of the time. Whereas you can see Dustia is listed as a level 3. However, it is relatively easy to spawn him. Again, you have to be within specific hit point range. And this one's actually relatively, again, some of these are actually easier to spawn than they seem, just because you can go into trial mode to get this guy to show up there. Same with the Ripe Rampager, because there is a special way to spawn them very, very early on. Oh, and something I forgot to talk about is they changed, the Bestiary in Zodiac Age is radically different from the one in the original game. In the original game, you didn't see just a model here or anything like that. In the original game, you actually saw a close-up portrait of their model as well as artwork of them. And this is true of, I think, both the special Imperial spawns, like the judges, and it was also true of stuff like the Espers. I remember Mateus looked way different in the original. It was a close-up shot of the female part of his body. Yeah, hang on. Yeah, it was a close-up shot of the middle there. Yeah, and you can look at the description here. And yes, it's not a coincidence. If you've if you've played 14 but didn't pay that much attention to the Asian names, it is not a coincidence. The Asian names were taken straight from the Scions of Light and Dark in 12. So you see, Logrif, who we see in the Eden raids, gets shown on screen there, and La Habre is part of the main scenario for Realm Reborn and Heaven's Sword. See, and I forgot what the names were for the other story ones. But as I talked about, some things in 12 did reappear in 14, but they're different. Like, oh, let's get rid of this spawn before I go on. Wait, hold on. Oh crap! It's a rare spawn. No wonder. Okay, let's slow this down. How do we get 2 rare spawns in the same spot? That's not normal. Should be weak against wind. No, I guess not. Oh, so yeah. Anyway, as I was saying, a lot of stuff in 12 was reused in different amounts in 14. So save your scape emotes. They are extremely strong, and using them early on lets you know how to replenish them. Yeah. If I remember correctly, it's hard to find them outside of story areas, because I think you had to go deep into trial mode to find more of them. The scape is strong, and it's non-elemental damage. You may want to swap out, for either Balthier because he's machinist, or Ash. I'm sorry, no Ash, but no, yeah, she's right above him. Okay. Yeah, she's right above Penelo. Let's see, he's almost down though. See? Put Pedal in and blast him. What we should have been doing from the start, really. You can also queue up actions. So anyway, let's continue on. Let's take a look at the Bestiary real quick. Yeah, I don't know how we spawned 2 rare game in the same spot. That's like very rare. I've never seen that actually happen before. At least I don't remember it happening before. So like again, you get upgrades for your stuff, like mini achievements. We saw 50 chain. You got 50 chain. Wayfarer, yep. And we got this for selling over 1,000 pieces of loot, which will happen very quickly if you're actively gathering gear. And her stuff is looking weak. Did we not get her black magic upgraded? Yeah, she should be able to use a lot of black magic. Let's see, where's the actions? Yeah, okay, so wonder why we... Yeah, that's unusual. I have to look into it later. But generally speaking, you should only go up to level 10 or so on your main, if you're talking about mages, go up to level 10 because that will cover most of the game. Because for the most part, the level 10, everything up to level 10 will not start, spawning for a very long time. Anyway, make sure to clear all the stuff here, and if you manage to get lucky like we just did, go and clear out the rare game. Now, what you want to do here is try to go away from this area. This is actually, down below is where we actually need to go. However, in order to advance the story, we have to go the other way. Also, no, you could pick a fight with the Garif, but why would you? And there's a red Chocobo. Be careful around those guys. This one, we can actually fight this one. If you see a level 99 one, which can happen here, run. Do not screw with the level 99 Chocobo. And I don't know the conditions for making it spawn, but yeah. If you see one, just run. You know, not level 99s will insta-kill you. Plain and simple. And they're there to remind you that there is a pecking order. Oh, I got coming, but that is a Final Fantasy Tactics reference to the old errands. You know, they're called jobs in the War of the Lines, but I think they're just called errands or whatever. Yeah, I think they're actually called jobs in the original game too, just different.
The Senate may play at intrigue, but Lord Vane is not one to be brought down easily. The entire military.
Let's see. I don't think we'll see. I want to comment. Yeah, I'm gonna let the cutscene play out because I want to talk about a couple of the judges here.
To strike down the enemies of the Empire.
I don't know.
Reminds me of Zet.
Yep, here we go.
He too put his trust in Lord Vane's strength, and what became of him?
Okay, so this, we saw Judge Bergen, Zargabath, and Drace. In the original version, Drace and Zargabath were not, judges that you could fight at all, even in, even in the story. Bergen, however, is an upcoming boss. Now, I want to talk about this real quick because they are fightable in trial mode and only in trial mode. So it's something that Zodiac Age added. Make sure to use the save crystal. You can't interact with the Banga, but you can interact with this guy. Okay, so in order to advance the story, you have to do this. Now there is, we will be going to the other area real soon. However, you have to go to this point in order to progress the story. Now, the jungle seems spooky at first, but it's really not. Make sure you come over here and get your urn. Hang on. Dude! How are we getting these crazy-ass spawns this early? Okay, that wasn't a rare game. It should have been, though. It was! What? So within the last 15 minutes, we've seen 3 different rare games. Why couldn't I get this kind of luck when I'm playing for myself, It's like, oh damn, he's recording. We better go say hi. I mean, I'm not mad about it because hey, we get to see some of these really rare ones. Anyway, Ash is dead, so we should probably fix that. It's interesting that there's a location map here because, yeah, it's one of the story reasons why I would question why it's here. Oh, she's turned to stone. Okay, I didn't see that. It even got a lot of gold needles, huh? I thought she was dead. So in this area, you may want to consider that because sometimes Midgard Thorn will spawn, as well as I think there are other ones in this area that can do that. You can't pick a fight with these guys. I would suggest if you're leveled up enough. Because they give out a little bit of decent XP. And there's quite a few of them around here. Plus you can make progress. Anyway, this is an area you need to go to once you get this done. So again, this is a part of the story in order to, our real target is the Henne Mines, which is coming up.
What is it?
But we cannot technically go there until the story says to.
What have we done?
We? No. What's that mean? How are we supposed to get through that?
Making an appearance?
Come on, I'm talking over here.
I thought you'd left for good.
Hey!
Our choices are few.
Friend? Balthier!
This is as much for you as it is me.
Oh?
I would skip this cutscene, but this is actually incredibly
You are at
important
ease.
for her.
The Nethersite troubles you. You've let your eyes betray your heart.
Right.
What are you doing?
Soon you will learn.
Whoa.
Now we can skip. So yeah, basically you need a friend for that. It doesn't matter if she's alive or not. And notice it's blocked off. And if you go elsewhere in here, you'll see areas also blocked off. Now down here is an area we're not supposed to go to until the mid. Actually, it started the late game. Right now we're in the mid game, so to speak. Now I want you to pay attention to. I'm not going to skip the cutscene for the opening in this area, so I want you to pay attention to the name of this area. If it should show it.
In the village ahead, you will find her, Wyrm. Bring her to me. She will know why you call her.
Notice we have Muggles that show up. These will give you access to more cartography in the area, as well as more new items. If I'm correct, they do have new items. Oh, you had to move further in to trigger the, okay, never mind. Well. You get a map for this area. Now, if I remember correctly, they do not show up if you did not free them from the Leviathan. And here we got some more another bow upgrade, as well as a gun upgrade. We can afford both, so might as well. As well as armor upgrades. Notice the passive. If you equip it, you get built-in protect. Now, despite the low defense, this is actually a very useful item for most of the game. You may want to consider having it as on any knight or knights in general that you get, or anybody who could equip heavy armor, because that built-in protect reduces physical damage by an incredible amount. Okay, half damage. Now, that's interesting because I don't remember weather and terrain effects how much impact in mid and late game. I could be wrong though. Asuna. So as soon as you get it. Right, as soon as it unlocks, get it, because that is a powerful. I think it works on everything except extremely specific stuff like sap and maybe slow petrify. As soon as it gets out, it will save you so much hassle. Now, the reason why I want you to pay attention to that name is because, for one, this is where the Viera homeland is in 12. 2, Viera in, the version of Fran in the Ivalice raids and Boja storyline is named Fran Irut, which suggests that Irut village exists in 14, because there is a Golmore Jungle there. Now, if I'm correct, we never see the village or anything, and I can't remember if it's actually mentioned, but the last name of Fran Irut suggests yes, it does exist. And notice the Viera are not very talkative. And it says a hidden enclave, but this is honestly the Viera homeland. And again, notice how hostile they are to you. They're not going to kill you, But, yeah, they do not like you here. This does change, of course. And notice that all the Viera here are female. At the time, you know, in the original... Okay, so there's 3 different types of Viera lore. You got the 12 lore, then you got the lore in the Tactics Advanced games. Because that was a different version of release that later fed into this game. Or maybe it's the other way around. They're both released in roughly the same time, honestly. Then you have the 14 lore. Now, in the 12 lore, male Viera are extremely rare. They're reclusive, and they only show up
once.
Alright, sorry, I should pause. They only interact with female Viera for a couple of reasons. This may be actually the 14 lore I'm thinking of, but not the 12 lore, so check to be sure, because I am not 100% sure. But as far as I know, in 12, the male Viera only interact with the female Viera for taking care of children. You know, they take male Viera, and also for mating. So, but they're supposed to be more reclusive, and this is also true of the 14 version. But 14, you know, Viera are much more represented because, you know, in Endwalker and Dontro, you got Erenville, as well as other male Viera that show up in different job storylines introduced in those 2 X-Packs. Anyway. It's interesting because what she talks about here is the Whispered Woods says deny passage to the Humes, but the Whispered Woods doesn't say which ones. And it's implied that it's supposed the Whispered Woods is responding to the Imperials. Oh, and if you come up here, you get haste. Now, haste is a powerful spell. It speeds you up, and you definitely want to get rapid while you're here in the village. And then, naturally, you can come back here later. You notice we have a teleport crystal. Some hunts do take place, you know, or they originate from here, as in you have to talk to the petitioner here.
Not bad, Vaughn. Didn't think we'd get any.
And I'm going to let this one play out because this is actually a very funny moment that most people should see.
What was she saying about men in a warren?
The Henne Mines. Maybe that's what she meant. They lie in Bangkor, south of the Ozmone Plain. The entire region is a colony of the Arcadian Empire. There would be soldiers.
Is that a problem?
That's what I was talking about.
Let's move.
We do have to go to the Henne Mines as part of the story.
Yes?
I was wondering what Yote said, you know? About how you said the same thing 50 years ago?
Your point?
How old were you again?
Nice fun.
Surprisingly rude.
Try to grow up, please.
To be fair, this is actually a very good question because, you know, obviously, yes, Vaughn's a dumbass for not tactfully asking that better. At the same time, it's actually never really established how old Viera can get because they're basically the elves of, they're wood elves of 12 and tend to be the elves of 14 and... Sorry, not 14. I'll get to that in a moment. Let me start over. Viera in general tend to be treated as very long-lived, and you can see parallels with D&D elves. And it's never established just how old Fran is. She's at least 50, obviously, but clearly Viera aged differently than any other race does. In 14, I think there may be hints as to how long Viera lives. I think they say at least 2 or 3 centuries. And in 14, the Elizans are supposed to be the elves, but they have normal lifespans as far as I know. You know, they have normal lifespans, same as any other race. But Viera are still a big mystery as to how long they can live. Hence, they're closer to D&D elves than the elves than actually are. Anyway, we're going to have to walk all the way back out because we didn't... Well, no... If you teleport back to the Garif... Well, actually, hold on. Let me get that stats effect off. I thought I did, sorry. So if you teleport back to the Garif village, I would not suggest it. Also, note, Fran will always wait out here. This is even after story progression happens and everything changes for her. And since Vaughn's the only controllable player inside the village, you cannot force Fran to reactivate him. And something, I almost forgot actually. So if you find Viera out in the wild, like NPCs out in the wild, and your party leader is Fran, their dialogue will actually change. It's actually a really nice touch that I don't think many people know unless they are big Fran fans. Okay, slow it down. There we go. Now, if you come over here, everything's changed. We have a Imperial that's in danger. Yeah, see? You want to have some potions. Don't sell your early game potions. You always ask for the basic one. If you have trouble, you can just go back and buy some from the Moogle. So that you can tell the Henne Mines have issues. See? And this is something to pay attention to. You need to know where Chocobo footprints are. They're usually an area okay. So anyway, notice the controls. You have a limited amount of time on a Chocobo, and it's usually enough to get where you need to go. So 3 minutes game time is more than enough to get over here. And notice the enemies cannot attack you while you're on a Chocobo. Once you get off, though, you cannot get back on without getting a new one. So let's see, it should be around here, actually. Because you're supposed to jump over. It's odd. Oh wait, it may actually be back up there because it's supposed to be special tracks, but that can't be right. So if you end up having trouble, you can just go back to the Imperial Soldier, refresh your timer by getting on it again. Oh, we went the wrong way. There you're supposed to jump over, but I do think we went the wrong way because we had to use special tracks. We may just straight up missed it. If you notice, there is a path up there, so we probably need to go back. If you go back here, you just go this way, but you need to crawl around here, so to speak. And here's the hidden path. Notice we're on the other side. We'll go ahead and dismount because we are in a safe area. And we're about to run out of time anyway. Anyway, you had to get off the chocobo in order to grab items. And notice there's another one out here. Again, if you want to get back, you gotta get on the chocobo. Because notice it will not let you through. In theory, you can try to come here before, tripping the event flags inside the Golmore Jungle, but you'll see Imperial Sierra blocking the way. Alright, so now we're in the Henne Mines. Oh, there we go. Alright, wait. Should be letting us down. Alright, never mind. Anyway, so this is an area you come to early in the game, but it also houses some of the strongest late game, farming as well as enemies. And it's also in here you fight Zodiac, but you cannot fight him until the end game starts. Because by the time you're able to fight him, you've progressed enough of the story that the fight can be unlocked. You need to look around for all these gates as well as switches. Now you shouldn't need to trip many switches in order to progress, in the story. However, switch manipulation will be required later on in order to access Zodiac's area. Okay, so we got a problem here. Make sure to start setting up white mage gambits in order to cleanse out stuff like this. We don't have the license, really? Okay. So let's fix that real quick because, she's our, white mage. Or our secondary. I feel like we're going the wrong way. It's strange. It says we, don't have a license, but we did get it. So, what's up? Alright, so now we're going to fix our gambits before it's too late. And we end up having a, very stoned up party. And good thing she got herself in time before, yeah. Oh, wait. I thought that was a treasure. I was trying to figure out why it wasn't popping the notification. There we go. I think we just picked up, it was either a mace or a technique. Let's see which one it was. Oh, it might actually be a technique. Let's see. Aha! Interesting. Feels like a meant to be a one-shot, one. It's not one I'm familiar with because I've never used it. Flame shield, nice, very nice. And you see we just rolled over a T-Rex variant. At this point in the game, you should be able to fight them reliably. And here we have a switch section you can manipulate to open or close pathways. Oh, there it is. Make sure to mess around the gates because you're going to have to go different ways. If you have anti-confusion gear, use it. These guys will keep spawning until you clear them all out or you run. Notice they all give LP, so you can make a crazy farm until they run out. Of course, they can confuse you, so if that you let that happen, that could be a problem. We're just going to force this, yeah. But again, if you have anti-confusion gear, use it. Otherwise, this could happen. Bit of annoying, I know. And you'll see we're back in the original area. There. This should be enough for us to be able to run away until we hit a save crystal. This should be very close by. Where does the guy's out? Alright, now we can finally get over there. Notice that area is blocked. Ah, this is why. And return to mimic bugs. Both of them, wow. Like I'm back in Yakuza. And here we are right about to fight a boss. And here's a teleport crystal. So if you need to teleport out, bam, this is your spot. So let's make a save. Now, this upcoming boss can be a filter, in the sense that if you're underprepared, Tiamat will slap the crap out of you. You know, she's a bit tougher than Demon Wall was, but both of the Demon Walls were quasi filters. When we're not, you should try to fight them. Although the story one does force you to fight it. That being said, this is a good point to consider trial mode or teleporting out and farming and leveling up. At this point, we are going to stop, possibly do some trial mode in order to bring up our secondary boards, and then we will return. So we will see you soon. All right, we are back. Take some time to do some off-screen farming trial mode in order to progress to this next area. We got our mist up for our main party. Ash is nice and all, but we are going to be at the point where we want to, choose our party. And we're choosing our usual of the men. And I looked it up, and I actually had Fran as, Ulan, and as a secondary instead of Black Mage, and Red Battle Mage for Pinello, and Foebreaker for Ash. So it's something to consider if you want to do something, decent that should work overall. Foebreaker is mostly for the debuffs. You'll notice we have our mist techniques, so that is something you should consider at some point. I went and got the ones from a different save. But you should be picking the ones that are convenient for your style. And we finally get Leticia here so we can progress around and go more jungle. And you'll notice it automatically takes you back here. Larsa is still in the party. And this is actually a tip for certain areas. Still Shrine of Miriam, a crystal as well as a crystal in Nabudisa, which is a optional area, and I forget the last one. There are only 3 crystal bugs. Alright, so we can head east in order to continue on. However, south is the entrance to the Feywood, and it's something important to know because it is a big, an upcoming an area near the start of the Endgame. We'll take a look there. You can't actually advance very far in it because of story reasons. We'll actually show you. It doesn't take much effort. Notice the spawn levels. These are level 37s. Another T-Rex to take down. Whoops. If you come here early, there are actually some items you can get in here that are really useful to come early, but you have to be strong enough to survive. Notice these guys are fairly resilient. Oh, wait, I don't... Hey, we got you control guests? I do not remember being able to do that. I think that's some... We should definitely have to start putting his gambits in, since he is set up for healer. Set it up like we got Ash. Ugh. I doubt. Okay, we'll fix that. We'll fix that. Wow, we skipped a lot of these actually, didn't we? No. Make sure, the priority order is determined by the gambit's position. Now note, Asuna will not work on every single thing. You may want to consider putting in, gambits that directly address slow and stop via Chronos tiers. You should only come here early if your party's actually strong enough. And if you come over here, is a secondary entrance to the Paramina Rift, which you can actually use in order to bypass, the other Wyrm entirely. However, it's not recommended as this is a very scary area. Plus, you miss out on the Elder Wyrm, kill. And normally you would not be able to do this just because, normally you would go to the Elder Wyrm. And this is a very risky way to do it because of these, these enemies here are in their almost at 40s when you're normally going to be in your high 20s, maybe low 30s. We're going to get to this area real quick as soon as possible. Anyway, make sure you explore around because there is an urn here. But it may not be in this specific spot. Yeah, we may have to go deeper in. Now, notice you are in a hazy area. Now, hazy indicates high, extremely high, activity in the mist. Let's see. Where's the Echo Herbs? There it is. Oh, give it to the wrong person. So something I forgot to talk about with the Vossler fight is if you put Fran in, she's automatically berserk, and you cannot remove it. And the cutscene, she goes nuts. So it's actually a interesting application of both mechanics and story. And here's the urn, so you can just grab it and then haul ass right back out. And you can see this is, about as far as you can go. And it only covers the first half of the Feywood. There are two halves, and it's gate kept by the story. We're gonna run it through here. You cannot use the mini map; it is going to be constantly jammed. You have to use the big map once you find the urn. If you try to go through here, which is normally where you go in the story when you come to this point, at the actual expected area, there is an extremely strong mist, and you cannot access it. Now here you can farm Mirror Knights. Now if you manage to kill the Mirror Knights, you get a chance to a drop, and they drop Mirror Mail, which is a very interesting armor because it has perma reflect. And the Wind Slice opinions sell nicely as well. The Mirror Knights are actually pretty easy to kill. See, they're low 40, but they're weak against Earth. They have low hit points to begin with. At this point, your party's going to be doing, kill them about 4 or 5 hits, right? Especially if you got a Kakata. And you can put, Berserker on Bosch to make him, do a lot of damage. Now you somehow get access to Earth, magical weapons, even better. If you go over here, it is the back door to the Henne Mines. Now this is actually where you want to come when you are getting ready to do the Endgame, because this is where the big boys are for this area. As you can see, these are level 60 enemies. If you somehow have access to holy weapons or holy magic, you can quickly kill them. But they are way above our pay grade, so we are getting out of here. So once you get access to some kind of holy damage, you can actually do level up cheese in this spot. That being said, we are getting out of here. And I don't think we got any Mirror Knight drops. Oh, we did! Wow, cool. And it's a low 7 heavy armor, so it's actually relatively easy to get. I would suggest doing Mirror Knight on all your heavy armored people if you have a lot of high potency weapon potion, because it reflect works on friendly magic as well. You set up your gambits to have a focus on potion-based healing and all that. You'll be fine going Mirror Knight. Mirror Marrow. Anyway, so you can skip just now. Elder Wyrm is a bit of a filter. We'll go into him in just a moment. You can fight him in the trial mode. And I think he's actually easier there than he is here. Alright, so again, keep an eye on the map so you can keep your orientation going. You know, keep your bearings. And another teleport crystal. So if you're having trouble dealing with Wyrm, you can just teleport right out. Oh, there. Wyrm is one of the ones that has the new music. Okay, so I wonder if I can pause this. Okay, I think I can force a pause. Ha! Okay, so tapping out forces a pause. Now, how the quickenings work are... Right, how are the quickenings work? They're basically the limit break system of 12. Now, you can actually do much more damage with them than you could a limit break just because of the way the RNG system works. You reshuffle, keep pressing an ability, and you get a finishing move based on how many of a certain level you complete. And it's all about how fast you are and whether or not you can get your quickenings off and more. It's associated with the face button, so it's always Y, X, and A with an Xbox controller. Generally speaking, from America, you want to start level 1 because you can get more if you have to do a mischarge to refreshes it. You know, and also the reason why we held off quickenings for so long, unlocking them, is they're strong. They require some investment, in your LP. Not to mention, you want to use them to unlock stuff, or when you've got what you want unlocked. Just like Esper licenses, quickenings are best used in order to unlock stuff you want, or if you already know which ones you're going to be getting.
I never miss. My regards.
And if you get mentioned to complete 4 of every single level, you get the ultimate black hole, which is an incredible amount of damage. Now, the damage formula is one I never really understood, but basically, the higher level you are, and the more quickenings you do, the better.
Got a surprise for you.
There's a proper way to do everything.
And this is most likely going to cause a complete wipe of the enemy. Especially if we get one of the higher level finishing moves.
Got a surprise for you.
And also, a fun little strategy is if you unlock full quickenings for everybody, and then swap in one person at a time,
Let me show you how
you can keep refreshing the other one's quickenings via You know, it's easier to show rather than it is to try to explain it. But we can do that after we get done here. And notice, CEO, that Bosch did this at the very start with Rex. And we ran out of time. We got 15 hits though, so I'm not sure what finishing we will get. I think we did 3 of each level. So you'll get the second best one, if I remember right. Ah, yeah, we did get the second best one. Yeah, look at how much damage we did. And this is low level. That was 22,000. If we were like in our 60s or 70s, this would have been insta kill, most likely. So when we get done here, we'll go over what the Quickening cheese strategy is. And you might want to have some gambit set up with Remedy or Isuna, because this Sporefall does a lot of status effects. Let's see if we got confused on him. Yeah, see? You know, when you're doing your filling out your license board, prioritize at some point getting remedies, you know, remedy lore, because it makes it basically a pocket Asuna, and it's so useful. The Asuna doesn't cover everything, but you know, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Asuna does not cover everything, but remedy will cover everything that Asuna doesn't. Alright, so let's grab this. Yeah, decent chunk of gel, so we're going to go back and replenish. Now, every time you hit a save crystal, your quickenings will restore as well. Rather, your mist charges will fully recharge. Now, let's talk about quickenings real quick. So, let's say we have Vaughn and Baltier depleted, but Bosch still has his. So, if you put in Bosch, and you start doing his, you can refresh and try to mist charge Vaughn or Baltier and keep them, bring them back in, even though they started the quickening, even though you started quickening with them depleted. And you can't keep doing this as long as a party member has at least one missed charge bar. And that is actually a very interesting way to do quickenings, especially if you're far away from a point where you can go and replenish, and you're not able to do anything with that about that. So it is a cheese strat, but it's one that can be useful. Anyway, replenished. Now, once you get the Elder Worm cleared, this is actually a really decent spot if you're having trouble with the Paramina Rift. And if you manage to remember to get the monograph that gives you increased drops against, demons and devils. Good spot to farm them. We're just going to clear this all out because we kind of need the LP right now. So you tend to farm in the Marlboros for a while. It's a good spot if you get the monograph. And here we got an Argyle amulet, so it can always help get more. Anyway, continue on. And this is the normal way into the Paramina Rift. Make sure to save. And we will see you soon for the next session. All right, we are ready, we are ready to continue on. There we go. Now, where is a there's a Moogle around here somewhere. May not be in the actual area, but there's a right. Cartography Moogles are up ahead at Mount Bur-Omisace. Basically, you want to move northwards because north and northeast. And we can see big cutscenes of Vayne taking power and more. And you can see it's incredibly easy to get to Mount Bur-Omisace. And we can finally get access to Karaga. You can see significant upgrades. And if you're wondering about that Electrum, you get it from Mount Blanc, as well as a couple of teleports down early on once you get a Belias. Got a wide variety here. Free Flame Tongue. Okay, so I was wrong about Chocobo. It's only for the Garif one, but maybe it is if you go to if you get a higher Chocobo there. It's always free for the rest of the game. Every location charges. You'll see the rift is quite large. Down towards the south is the way to the Still Shrine of Miriam. We will be going there soon. And you can see, if you didn't know that was a Feywood entrance, you now do. And you can, again, like I said before, you can use that to bypass the Elder Dragon. But you have to be fairly well developed in order to do that. Or run like hell. Either one. Okay, there's the crystal. Now we're going back because now we should be able to buy the teleport stones, and you want to max your teleport stones out because this upcoming section is a great place to go and catch up on hunts. We have to find the location here that allows us to buy. Oh wait, I think you have to actually be on a Skyfarer to buy, so we'll try that. So while else, just reload. Fortunately, you don't have to go over to a location to do it. They just put you on there. Also, note you had to do arrow travel at some point via these airships in order to do a hunt later on. Wow, these are not here. Interesting. Ah, there it is. So it's the other merchant. Now, note you can also buy Casal greens here. So if you sell them max it or use them up out in the field, you know where to get some more. But for now, we're just going to max out our teleport stones because we absolutely will be using a lot of those. If I remember correctly, this is actually a side quest. Interesting that, you know, she just happened to have a letter, right? Anyway, this side quest is for, I forget what the reward was, sorry, I forget what the reward was, but I believe it was actually, you know, something of, you know, considerable interest. And we're just going to take a Moogling back to the crystal because we now can teleport it around. Oh, and by the way, the Seek I was talking about earlier, he's around here. It is. You know, once you talk to him, he calls himself Weather Eye. After you've gone to the rains, you know, Giza during here's your Giza Plains during the rains. Okay, so there's actually a hunt active, and I wanted to show it early on because some hunts you do want to pick up early on so you can get access to your rank upgrades. Now, this is your hunt that's active is one that's only active during the dry. See. Okay, now your target, well, someone's gonna be here. Wait, where was she? Supposed to be in front of the pin. Did we actually open up Starfall? Yep, that area. So, what she's talking about was actually going towards Ozmone Plain. Now, if you had the item Fetter of the Flock, so Giza's North Bank, okay. So if you have the Fetter of the Flock, which you can only get during the rains, you can talk to these guys. And it's required for a side quest later on. And they all talk with a Cockney accent. And talking to kids doesn't really do much. For my character, you can just go over and smack the crap out of the bird. Yeah, don't do anything special.
Yeah.
Let me go look this up because I'm not. It'd be faster to look it up than trying to figure out, on our own because I don't really remember this one. It was supposed to be you just wander over and you're fine. Click on trees. Oh, you had to eliminate all the hostile, all enemies in the area, then come back. It was actually a pretty simple one. You had to kill the rabbit as well. And there she is.
Yeah.
You had to eliminate the entire group. So it's not just enough to eliminate the clucker trees, you gotta kill the little chicks as well. Turn them all into dinner. Dip them in some batter and make some fried chicken. Yeah. Yeah, they're just funny, you know? Oh, guess same with 4. Alright, so we are done there, and there are more hunts available, so we're gonna do a couple more of those in order to progress our rank. So that may have done, let me see. Okay, we are rear guard. Let me check our ranks, because I think we need to get up to Vanguard for anything useful. Okay, so yeah, you had to clear 4 marks, and you had to clear 8 to get rear guard. Sorry, rear guard is 4 marks cleared. Vanguard is 8 marks, and you need 20,000 points, which we are way above the points. Honestly, all we need to do is just clear marks, and with this many points, you can go all the way up to Risk Breaker. So the reward you get for rear guard is remedy and 2 teleport stones, so we don't need that right now. New items though would be gauntlet. Gauntlets. Okay, so here is something interesting. In the original, when you got to Vanguard, you were able to buy teleport stones from the clan provisioner. Now it's drained, so that's unfortunate. That's a change where you can't get it anymore. Huh. There is a rank I never got. Oh, I see why now. It's because you had to complete the Sky Pirate's Den, and then you had to, so you had to have all 45 hunts done. 1 million points. That's incredibly easy to get. You get the Centennial Heroes badge, 3 teleport stones, and various motes get unlocked. Okay, let's see what the Heroes badge. Let's see. It's just a trophy. Okay, it does nothing. Wow. So yeah, most people are going to probably cap out nights around, night around, because yeah, the requirement to get the upgrade is incredibly high. You have to do every single mini achievement in the game. Let's see, something disappears while. Oh, okay. So original, when you upgrade to Paragon Justice from Risk Breaker, an item disappears. Oh, okay. So anyway, there are rewards for Mont Blancs. When you go back to Mont Blanc after each one. So starting from the top, the 4th land in the Garens, the waterway, you get 150 gold. Then after beating Firemane, you get 200 gold. Then after Mimic Queen, you get 300 gold. Then after the Demon Walls, if you destroy both of them, you get Nugget of Electrum as well as a Warp Mote on top of 1,800 gold total. When you get your first Esper, which is always your first Esper will always be Belias. You get an Arcana and 2 teleport stones. When you defeat the Elder Wyrm, you get 800 gold. Tiamat gives you 900, and then the Steel Shrine's next boss will give you 1100. So for the most part, you get small guild rewards until, well, honestly, all of them except for beating Hellworm, which is an optional boss. That one gives you 50,000 gil. But the big reason to come back is when you have 4 Espers under your control, and then 8, you get some very important loot for in-game weapons and equipment. And when you get when you get control all 13 Espers, you go back and get a Serpentaries, which is again used for in-game equipment. He also gives out elite marks. And we've already cleared out his the 2 for Hedge Knight now. They change at sorry, they don't change. The list expands after story milestones. The first one is after Barhan Passage. So if you're looking to do side quests, I suggest doing that right away. Once you get back from the passage. because you got a good point before you had to go back. Before you're stuck in Bajeba for a while, and you have to have a minimum clan rank requirement. So the next one is you need to be a Vanguard, and you get access to the Guild Sniper Hunt, which is the one I was talking about earlier, where you needed access. You need to go there in the range, and you needed access to the Tortoise Field. That one is the Elite Mark Hunt that you need that area opened up for. Another one is Orthos, and that's a Headhunter. And 3 actually open up at Headhunter. And they all give you crafting materials. One gives you a bubble belt, which is very useful. It doubles your hit points while you have it equipped. The others give you crafting materials that you sell for loot in the bazaar, so crafting. After the next, and see that the 2 Headhunter ones. Well, 2 Headhunter ones open up just after visiting Mount Bur-Omisace. After we defeat the next the Mount Bur-Omisace boss, you get Brave Companion. Or rather, you got to get Brave Companion. That will give you access to 2 more hunts, which are actually ones in a deep inside, mid-game areas. Like one is the Gilgamesh one, and that is deep inside the Lucy Mines. You have to have some other stuff open up first. And, then you have the other one, which is deep in, let's see, remember correctly, this one is deep inside the Salika Wood. And after we go to the, Dracula Laboratory, which is probably be about 2 or 3 hours from now, I'm not sure. In terms of gameplay, assuming we skip all cutscenes as always. Then when we get the straw, we got another one that's deep inside the Feywood. So, and then once the final dungeon appears, you got more that open up. So a lot of these are hard story locked, and they're at their major points. And if you want to do, yes, man, you have to have every single other hunt done, and then he is the last one, and he only shows up when you have access to Night of the Round, which means you have to complete every single other hunt. So yeah, hunts are actually pretty in depth. And you can see we still have areas that have not been lit up yet that are still shown as question marks. Alright, so let's go ahead and get rid of these guys. There we go. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to pause. Going the wrong way. Okay. There we go. So, ooh. We're going to talk about exploration options in just a moment. Let's get back down to save crystal. And moving at 4x speed can be detrimental, as we've seen many times now. That's big teeth. Save. So you actually have major options at this point. So let me double check something real quick. I want to be sure about what I remember about this section. See here. Let's see. But at this point, we should be able to. Let's see. Let me double check this guy. Okay, so it looks like I was actually wrong about the Edrumlek. You can actually fight him right away, but I must have been thinking of some other ones that you can't fight until you reach a certain story milestone. Okay, so basically, at this point, you can go and fight Edrumlek and get access to his license, which will allow you to again do some strategy stuff of espers as well as unlocking. And I suggest referring to the previous video where we go over which espers unlock what. That being said, you can go and fight him now, and I suggest being over level 35 because you have a very nasty area to get through. And he is a lightning esper if you have trouble dealing with lightning weak enemies. But at this point, you can decide if you go up the mountain and then talk to the Grand Kiltias, you lose Larsa. But if you don't do that and you decide to run around some more, you can keep him in the party and use him as a fourth party member while you go and do stuff like hunts or go get Adremalek, as well as explore areas, find new shortcuts, and so on and so on. So at this point, you have a lot of exploration, mostly hunts, because if you haven't been doing hunts, you got a bit of a backlog. And both Bujerba and Rabanastre will have hunts on top of Mont Blanc, depending on whether or not you were actively going back and talk to him after doing story milestones. So it's something to consider at this point, because you have a lot of options to deal with. Or you can just go and level up. If you're able to survive in the Feywood outside areas, you got some decent leveling in there. You can also try to pick up some elite marks in there. Like there's a Juggernaut who only shows up at certain times on the clock, if I remember right. So you would have to go look up a guide, make sure you get in there. And then you got the stuff in the plains, as well as all that. So, and we will see you next time when it's time to go down to the Still Shrine of Miriam.